Birthdays are supposed to feel like belonging. Mine felt like a verdict. My father cleared his throat at my birthday table and told everyone I was a disgrace to the family name. My mother nodded. I picked up my wine glass, took one slow sip, stared at the tablecloth because if I looked up, I would cry. Then I heard a chair scrape back. Slow, deliberate. My grandfather was standing up. 40 years, he had never once spoken at this table. Tonight was different. But first, you need to understand what this family did to me. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comments where you are listening from. My name is Sara. I am 25 years old. In my family, there were two kinds of children, Nadia and everyone else. Nadia was perfect. Perfect grades, perfect choices, perfect obedience. My parents pointed to her at every gathering like a trophy they had designed themselves. I lived my own life. I chose my own career, made my own decisions. To them, that was unforgivable. I got, "Sara, why can't you be more like your sister?" But one person never said that. My grandfather, 78 years old, quiet man, sharp eyes, said very little but missed absolutely nothing. I visited him every Sunday for 4 years, brought groceries, sat through 2 hospital visits, listened to his stories for hours. He knew exactly who I was. And on the night my parents called me a disgrace, he had been sitting quietly for 40 years, waiting for the right moment. Birthday dinner, my parents' house, 10 people, good china, warm lights. I was at the far end of the table. I should have read that as a sign. Somewhere between the appetizers and the main course, my father cleared his throat. That sound, I had learned to fear that sound. "Sara," loud enough for everyone to hear. "Your career, your lifestyle, your choices, they reflect badly on this family. People talk. Appearances matter." He paused. "We are ashamed that you carry our last name." The words landed like a slap. My mother nodded, lips pressed, as if shame was a reasonable birthday gift. Nadia looked at her plate, but I caught the small smile she couldn't hide. Nobody spoke. Candles flickered. I picked up my wine, took one slow sip, stared at the tablecloth because if I looked up, I would cry, and I refused to give them that. I thought about every Sunday with my grandfather, every grocery run, every hospital waiting room. They have no idea what he knows about me. At the far end of the table, my grandfather sat quietly, hands folded, eyes fixed on my father. Something in those eyes I had never seen before. Keeping my eyes down was not weakness. It was the last act of self-preservation I had. If I looked up, I would cry. If I cried, they would win. And I had decided they were not going to win tonight. I focused on the tablecloth. White flowers, small and repeating. I counted them. 1, 2, 3. My father still talking. Reputation, responsibility, family name. Each word a small, precise cut. I stopped counting at 7, because that was when I heard it. My grandfather's hands pressing flat against the table. Then the slow scrape of his chair. I looked up. He was standing, completely still, completely calm, the way a man stands when he has made a decision he has been considering for a very long time. My father stopped mid-sentence. The room went absolutely silent. My grandfather did not raise his voice. He never needed to. I have been sitting at this table for 40 years, and for 40 years I have watched this family confuse obedience with love. Nobody moved. My father opened his mouth. My grandfather looked at him. He closed it. "Sara comes to me every Sunday. 4 years. She brings groceries, sits for hours, held my hand through 2 hospital visits, while the rest of this family was busy with more important things." He paused. "Let that sit. I know this girl. I watched her build her life quietly and honestly, and tonight you called that a disgrace?" His voice didn't crack. It didn't need to. You want to talk about the family name? I gave that name to your father. The condition was never obedience, never appearances, never what neighbors think. He looked at my mother. She looked away. The condition was character, and of everyone at this table tonight, Sara is the only one who has not disappointed me. Nadia's face went pale. My father stared at the table. My grandfather turned to me, eyes steady. You have nothing to be ashamed of, not one single thing. Then he sat down. The room exhaled all at once. Nobody spoke for a long time. Nadia laughed nervously. Nobody joined her. Her laugh died in 3 seconds. My mother looked at me, not at the table, at me. Sara, I'm sorry. No excuses, no qualifications, just sorry. I nodded once. I didn't rush to make her feel better. I let the discomfort sit, because it wasn't mine to fix. My father said nothing, stared at his plate for the rest of the evening. Cake was brought out, someone sang happy birthday, most awkward rendition I have ever heard, and somehow the best birthday I ever had. Because for the first time, I wasn't invisible. I wasn't the far end. I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I drove home alone that night, windows down, cool air. I felt light. Not because everything was fixed, my father hadn't apologized, my sister hadn't changed, but something had shifted, something permanent. For 25 years, I had carried their version of me, the difficult one, the embarrassing one. I had carried it so long it had started to feel like truth. It wasn't the truth. My grandfather had just told 10 people exactly who I was. I still visit him every Sunday. Nothing has changed there. Except now when we sit across from each other with our tea, he sometimes looks at me and smiles. No words, just that smile. It means he saw me long before that birthday dinner. It means he always will. If someone has ever handed you shame like it was yours to carry, remember this. It was never yours. You don't need a room full of people to defend you. You need one person who has been watching long enough to know the truth. I had my grandfather. He stood up after 40 years, and he gave me back something I didn't know had been taken. My own name. Not the family name. Mine. The one I had been building quietly all along.